ready. So that happens quite a bit, and that's where you as an event manager, you sit at the back of the room and you try and get a feel, because you can see if you're at the AV desk, oh my God, he's on his last slide, and he's got half an hour to go. I know he's got 10 minutes of talk. I'm just going to let catering know. The best thing I've ever been given at an event is a walkie-talkie or a mobile phone direct to the event manager, because otherwise I spend most of my time in the kitchen. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to break early. So I'm out the back. Come on, where's someone? I need to tell you, we're going to break early. So if I can have a walkie-talkie, which you get at big convention centres, then you just ring a, yeah, guess what, we're breaking early. Rather than running around, I'm always out the back trying to find someone to tell them what's happening. So yeah, you just manage that on the spot. Every event, it's either early or late. You think it's going to run late, it runs early. But yeah, your MC's job as well is to keep your speakers on time, because some of them just keep going on and on and on, and I'm like, you need to get him off. He's like 25 minutes over. Yeah.
So what do you do with the situation like that? If you get a speaker that just does dribble on and on and on, and you want to get them off, but it's a person that
it's when you MC.
A
bit like what Malus did today. You weren't here for Trace. It's just a subtlety. It's just maybe walking up at the back of stage as a presence, as the MC, sort of like, okay, it's my turn now, you've got to get off. And if there's questions and there's more questions, it's like, sorry, that's got to be our last question, we're running out of time. So making sure that I'm always in the ear of the MC, get up there, we're not. So yeah, it all comes down to managing every different component when you're there on site.
I think one of the things...
I just had a quick question regarding if you had have you ever been at a conference where there's been an emergency phone call come through for one of the participants? How do you get to that participant without disrupting the whole event?
You try and find someone who knows that person. It's generally not me, because I don't know the delegates, so I try and get my client to say, do you know Joe Bloggs? And depending on how far away the break is, you get the MC at the end of that speaker. It might take 20 minutes. 20 minutes may not make much of a difference, I don't know, depending on the call. The MC would then go, thank that speaker, we're going to break for a tea now. David, there's a call for you, can you meet us up the back? Yeah, so you wouldn't just barge in.
That's polite ways of
Stay
doing
calm, people. Stay calm.
Sorry.
Any more questions,
Can we
guys?
get your website?
www. Yes, we're going to
It's
try and maybe
on an
link
email
up.
I sent out the other day.
It's on the email. And like
Yep.
my Facebook.
And
I asked again just in case.
Okay.
I think
And
Simply great ideas. Okay.
it's actually SG Ideas. sgideas.com.au. If you log on, you can download the ultimate checklist. And then
And sign up for the newsletters, because they're good.
And check me out on Facebook. Simply Great Ideas on Facebook. I'm always posting fun stuff that looks like it's me doing it, but it's obviously sometimes not. But yeah, it's always great ideas. To get this checklist, you would have noticed when you downloaded it last night, it asked for your email address. You are now automatically on my email newsletter. My email newsletter goes out every month to about nearly 1,000 people, and it's hints and tips on events. Every month's a different hints and tips, but also what's happening in terms of hotels, if there's been a new hotel being built, or if hotels are having specials, just to keep you updated. But I say to my clients, don't read the newsletter. It's not about you reading the newsletter. It's about you remembering that I am your event manager. Ring me.
So, how do you, the situations like, you know, our problems, right? Whenever you have an event, I don't know if you've had anything where things just keep happening one after the other. How do you cope with that sort of thing by not having to pull your hair out by the end of the day?
I've just been asked what happens if multiple things happen over and over again. Look, that does happen. I think the hardest thing for that is my client. I've had clients, I'll never go back to that. That was 5 years ago. there's a new event manager, there's a new general manager, and they refurb. When you're there and it's happening, you just have to roll. You just have to roll, and if need be, you go higher. And you say to, if not the director of sales, who's palmed you off to the coordinator since you signed the contract, you say to her, I'm having troubles. Your front of house manager is never around when I need them, or the food is whatever. So whatever the problems are, you've just got to go think on your feet. It's constantly thinking on your feet, preempting things that hasn't happened yet and may not happen. But having faith and trust in the people you work with. So when I get on site, obviously there's a key team at the hotel or the venue, but I also love to say hi to just the girls that are waiting the tables. They're really important as well. Make them all feel special, because that totally works. So then if they walk in past, go, can you go and get me? Yeah. So it's really working with everybody on site, on board. And so if there's any problems, they'll do anything. Yeah.
Have you ever had a conference or anything where you have a specific dietary?
All the time.
And what if you're doing one and
It's really hard, and I had this conversation with a venue recently because, oddly enough, when people, not all, when people say they've got a dietary, they're gluten-free, and I have been guilty of this, we do set up a special dietary area. I've even gone to events, I haven't posted them, but I've gone to events where the chef standing behind the dietary actually has on his apron dietary requirements, gluten-free, So he's like, over here for you, weirdos. So then he's got it all. There'll sometimes be a group of 80, and I've had a vegetarian, gluten-free, a dairy-free, and it's all there, and maybe one will come and get it. They're all scoffing down what everyone else is eating. You think, bullshit, you got a dietary, you're just laxing off today, excuse my French, but I just think it doesn't, no matter how much you like, over here, obviously if it's plated dinner, we know that you're on table 8, so they come and say, hi, we've got a dietary on this, is the wheat free? And you go, oh good. So we know where to place your. So generally that's how we manage it when you're seated. But when you're breaking for morning tea or lunch or afternoon tea, you really need to talk to or ask your venue, with my dietaries, how are you going to flag it? Where is it going to be? So you could even, if there's a lot of them, and there are a lot more coming, your MC could even say, we're breaking for morning tea, those with dietaries, we've got your special table down there.
So you find that there's a lot more preferences coming through with wine?
Does that make your job more difficult by having all those diets? I mean, like if you don't have to worry so much about diet, it's much easier for, say, a chef to have to put it all together. But if you've got to worry about gluten-free and
It's just that's just it. It's just the way it is. It doesn't make my job any more difficult. It's just part of my job now. You just do it.
So would you prefer doing an event where you don't have to worry about that side?
It doesn't bother me. It's not even a thought. It's just a thing. It's just one of the things. Yeah.
So
Thank
it's
you.
basically just a part of it.
Can I just ask a question? Sorry, I just want to know, as students doing the diploma of events, would you take on any one of us to give us inside experience in the industry as like work experience?
Is that free help, did you say?
Work experience. I have been doing work experience program with my daughter's ex-school. She just finished year 12 last year. She's moved to Sydney to study fashion. But for the last 3 years, I've had a work experience student from school, and they're year 10.
Yeah.
I don't even think they know if they want to be in events management. And to be fair, last year I only had the student for 2 days because the other 3 days I was on site in an office full on doing this event coordination. I wasn't at the event as yet, so I couldn't have her. So look, I never say never, and depending on the timing or what the event is, yeah, it might be helpful to have someone hands-on, but I can't babysit. It has to be someone that really I could trust to know that they would do. Yeah, because be like having an extra delegate that doesn't know where the function room is or something.
Yeah, it can be a really tough thing.
Yeah.
Susan, thank
Thanks,
you very
girls.
much. I'm going to get this little thing from you as well.
Oh, thanks.
Quick photo. 1,
Oh, pleasure.
One, 2, 3. Lovely.
Yeah, so thank you very much for sharing all this amazing information. It's really great. And as always, I learned this as well.
Well, I'd love to stay for lunch, but I've got a teleconference with the US
With the
at
US.
1, so
Yes.
I've got to get back.
So I'm just going to very quickly say goodbye to Susan, and then I'll be back in 2 seconds.
And if anyone wants to talk to me, email, Facebook. Thank you. Thanks, all.
Alright guys, just for the publication of this event, can I ask a quick little favour? Everyone who's not sitting in the first 3 seats, if I can get you just to jump up, I just want to take a photo of a packed house, because all the spare chairs actually throw off the photo a little bit. So I'm just for a quick second or two, I'm just going to get everyone to get really friendly and come sit next to one another. And I want some photos like, that's very interesting. I hadn't thought of that point. Alright guys, come on, we've got some seats up here I need to get packed in and filled up. Here we go, 3 more at the front, 5 more at the front.
Oh, thank you.
Come on guys, a couple more here. At least I'll get you to sit at the front for us. Trace, I'll probably get you over here as well, if that's okay.
There's no chair.
Alright, now imagine.
Now she's
Well,
fine.
there's no challenge.
Please
Imagine, just quickly, that there is as you have been all day, an incredibly speaker that's blowing your mind with all this knowledge and wealth of key points and tips. And I'll get you to look at the front. And I want fantastic looks of excitement and thrill. Look at the front. And that's the one we want. And again, thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. We're going to go to celebration lunch.
Yeah. So we're just gonna have, if you just give me 2 seconds, guys, we're just gonna have a bit of an announcement for celebration lunch. It'll only take 5-10 minutes, and then we'll go down and grab something late. So just stay now while I grab and shoot this over here.
Now, after celebration lunch, we're going to gather back here again, and we're going to go over the morning session about what we learned, discuss what we discovered, and you know how we could apply it, and really just try to embed a little bit of what we've heard today. Okay. So keep thinking about what questions and what you'd like to continue to discuss, or what you'd really like to just thrash out for a bit. Okay.
Alrighty. Is everyone okay? You're all kind of looking, information overload. Well, I'm sure he's all sorry I didn't get to stay. I had people coming.